and in today's video we're going to be doing something kind of like a my riding story type of thing, but it's kind of just going to be me talking and telling you guys about all of my first rides on the following horses that I've ever ridden. So that's mostly it. I did forget one at the end. His name is Oreo. I'll put him in, and yes, but it's just not going to be on my list. Okay, so horse number one is Hawk. So he was my first ride ever on a horse. He was a Mustang. He is pictured here. This was my first ride on him, and I was, let's see, this is in 2020, so I was like 11. And yeah, it was kind of crazy. I kind of just sat on him, but he taught me most of what I know about riding. I had lessons on him for like years, not years, well, not really, like 2 years, like a year actually. I had lessons on him for like a year, and then he got retired, and then I moved on to other horses. So my first ride on him, I kind of just got walked around the yard, but I remember I wasn't allowed to hold the reins, so I just like put my arms out like this, and I kind of just like sat there, and I was so like red. I was so nervous, but he like took such good care of me, and he taught me like I said, the majority of what I know. At one point I raced somebody, and I would ride him in the field by myself. He was the first horse I ever rode bareback. He was the first horse I ever cantered on. He was the first horse I ever trotted on. He was amazing, and I loved him so much, and I hope that he's resting in peace because he sadly did pass away like a month or so ago, but he was very old, so he is now where he should be. Next is Mickey, my boy. I loved him. He was, he's blind, so he's still with us, good, and he is doing well. My first ride on him ever was the first day I ever went to his owner's place, and they're like close family friends now, but that relationship has really grown, and it has been mostly due to Mickey. And he has brought me together and closer to them, and he has also taught me a lot about what I know about horses, because I just learned so much from him because he has asthma and he's blind, and he's a Western trail horse, but he doesn't actually like neck rein. So he taught me a lot about that, and he allowed me to learn a lot from them. So the first ride I ever had, I actually went on a trail ride, and I went on this one trail, and now we call it the Pricker Bush Trail, and it hadn't been trimmed at all. So I got a couple cuts on my legs and stuff, and it was my first time riding him. It was my first time riding Western. It was my first time riding a blind horse, and I was like, oh my gosh. But we made it, and we did really well, and that relationship has flourished since. I haven't seen him in a little while, so that's really sad. But like from my first picture with him to my latest picture with him, like we have just gotten so close, and I just love that boy so much. So next is Grace, which actually I do have some sad news. She has passed away. She just wasn't doing well, and so they decided to put her down because she stopped eating her supplements and she was getting really thin and unhealthy. So I totally understand their decision, but that is really sad. But my first ride on her was, I don't even remember it. I mostly did a lot of groundwork and stuff with her. So my first ride was kind of just around in the round pen, and I really only walked her because her joints were really bad, but she taught me a lot about groundwork and leading and just like collecting a horse and how to just really make a bond with them, because I really bonded with her, and it's really, really sad that she's gone. But thankfully I have other horses to support me, so that's really good, that I'm not just left horseless. So, but she is gone now, but I did love her. She was one of my first loves as a horse, and I'm gonna miss her a lot. So next is Daisy May. She is the classic. We love her. She got injured last summer, so I didn't get to ride her very much in the summer because she was like injured. But the first ride she had that was after she like recovered, I got to ride her, so I was so honored. And we just got along really well, honestly. And the first time I remember I rode her, I was giving her so much rein. I don't know how, like, she is such a good horse because she, like, did not run away or anything. And I had, like, so much slack in my rein. Like, if it was Bubba or somebody, I would have been booking it. Like, I would have been gone. But she was just like, okay. And she just took such good care of me. And I always felt safe when I was riding her. And her gait was absolutely amazing. And she still got more rides in her. So she really was like my first Tennessee Walker that I ever rode on, and she was like a big deal for me because it was like I finally get to ride a horse that's not Mickey, because Mickey was kind of like my beginner level horse, and then I like notched up to like Daisy, and then the horses to come were just endless. So next is Babe, which is not a horse that I ride a lot, but she is a horse that I've ridden, and the first time I rode her, I was so nervous, which is hilarious because I'm usually not nervous when I ride new horses, but like her owner was going to be there to watch me to see if I could like go on trail rides and stuff with them. And so I was like, okay, don't mess up, Ruthie. You know how to post. Do everything right. Like, don't mess up, because then she will think you're like a bad horse person. You don't know what you're doing. And so I was like just walking her, and then she was like, okay, if you want to canter, you can canter. And I've heard that she can sometimes buck when she's going to canter. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. But I did not. And it was really good. And I rode her beautifully, and my best friend was there, so it was amazing. Thank you, Juliana. And I have ridden her so many times since then, and we are just so cute. Like, she's just a great horse. She barrels, she jumps, she does everything, and I absolutely adore her. She's the first horse I ever jumped before. Like, I had never jumped before, and I learned how to jump a little bit on her, and so I just really, really, really love her. So next is actually Bubbaloo. So Bubbaloo is like the pinnacle of my horse riding career over here. He was the next horse I got to ride after Daisy, and he was like the big black horse that like once you ride him, you're like a master, like in my brain. And so they were like, okay, you can ride him, and I was like, okay. And so of course I've seen him being tacked up and stuff, and I've worked with him a lot. Like I had groomed him and stuff before and led him around. So I knew he's got a lot of power. He's a very strong horse, and he's very big. He's like 16 too. And so I was like, okay, let's do this. And so I was tagging him up, and then right before I got on, they like took me over and they were like, okay, so he will run you into trees. And I was like, okay. And they were like, okay, so you have to make sure every time you see a tree, you give him legs so that he doesn't just run you into a tree, because he will. And I was like, all right. And they were like, okay, and then on the way back, if you're on a road, he's gonna speed up a lot, and he's gonna try to drag you home. So you have to keep him very collected, but don't not too collected, because then he'll fight back. And I was like, okay. So, but then the owner of him actually like looked Bubba dead in the eyes and was like, okay, you're gonna be good. Like, you be good to her. Don't be mean to her. And I was like, okay. And so then I got on, and he like started walking when I got on, and I was like, okay, calm down. And then the ride was amazing. He literally was amazing. I had no problems with him, and I love that horse. Like, he is like one of the best horses I've ever ridden. He's so touch sensitive. He is so amazing. And he didn't even drag me at all on the way back. And I think we just worked really well together, and it was like an amazing experience. And I was so happy at the end of that. I was like, I rode Bubba, I am like amazing. And it really just boosted my self-confidence. I mean, not that he never gives me sass, because he will sometimes, but that first ride was like amazing. Next is actually Victor, who I've ridden a couple times. He's a lesson horse that I ride. The first time I rode him was my first lesson with my trainer that I ride with now. And it was a really good lesson. His canter is amazing. Like, he is really big. He's like 17 hands, but he is like the best horse ever. Like, he needs a lot of encouragement in leg, and he's like half thoroughbred, so sometimes he'll have his moments, but his canter is amazing, and once you get him going, he absolutely loves jumping and everything, and he's taught me a lot about jumping and everything about that. Next is Margaret. She is the same size as Victor, but like 3 times as big. Like, she is huge. If you can just see, my legs are like not even covering her barrel. Like, especially compared to like Sully, she's like so much bigger. So my first ride on her, I had a lot of trouble getting her going. Like, she would just walk and I'd be like kicking her, and she just would be like, we're not gonna go. So she helped me with a lot of leg strength, because I would get very tired riding her. And she wasn't the biggest fan of having her feet picked up, so she's not my favorite horse to ride, but I definitely like her just as much as the others. Okay, so Latigo. Latigo is next, and he was also a lesson horse, same place. And he was an ex-barrel polo pony. So I had never ridden him before, and we went out on like in a field with like a couple little hunter pace jumps, and I was practicing my jumping, but he like wanted to canter the whole time. And at one point we were cantering down towards home, and he started galloping, and I was like pulling all the way back on my reins, and he was just like slowed down into like a medium canter, and I was like, this horse is so crazy. He thought straightaways were like, he was going somewhere. I don't know where he thought he was going, but he was like on fire. So yeah, but in the arena, he's definitely calmer, but he is a very, very fun horse to ride in like a hunter pace course, because he absolutely loves it. So last is yours truly, Sully, Sullivan the Sweet, Sully Bear, Sully Boy, whatever you want to call him. My first ride on him was actually when I was trying to decide if I wanted him or not, and he was amazing. He spooked at one tree, and I was like, okay, but his spook was very little, and I was like, I can handle this, like, I can do this, and I felt so safe on him and so confident. He loves to trot a lot, so that's something we've been working on his brakes. His brakes are a little bit better now. But like, I don't know what it is about him. He's just amazing. And my first ride, I also tried to canter him, and he kind of went sideways, I'm not gonna lie. And he also had his ears back most of the time, but it was his listening ears, not his angry ears. So that is a key component in the story. So, and of course I've had like so many rides on him since. So like, compared to like the first ride I had on him versus the last ride I had on him, like, we both have grown so much, and I absolutely love that boy, and I'm so glad he's mine. One horse I didn't include was Oreo, which I can't believe I forgot about him, but he has this paint here, and he was a very sweet boy. He didn't have very good brakes, so that was kind of a problem, but it was just a friend's horse that I went on a ride with, and he taught me that not all horses are the same, and not all of them have brakes. Okay, so here is my completed list. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you've made it this far, comment a little heart emoji next to, let's say, a flower emoji, because why not? And I thank you so much for watching. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so, because then I can feel more motivated to post more videos. And please like the video if you liked today's video, and give me any suggestions in the comments down below on what videos you would like next. I post every Monday morning at 8 a.m., so don't miss the next video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!